It is no secret that New York City is one of the most expensive cities in the world, but what most people don't know is less than 2 hours away, there's a city that the cost of living is less than half of what it is in New York City. Let's compare these two cities by real estate costs, taxes, and so much more, so you know if it's truly worth it to live in New York City or if Philadelphia would be a better choice. The average price of a home in New York City is $766,000 compared to Philadelphia, which has an average home sale price of a little over $222,000, for a total difference of over $540,000 between these two cities alone. When it comes to real estate though, the average home sale price in an area is very hyper-local, so it definitely depends on which neighborhood, which area, etc. you plan on buying a home in. Let's break down some of the most popular neighborhoods within both of these cities, starting with the most expensive neighborhoods. The most expensive neighborhood in all of New York City is called Hudson Yards, which has an average home sale price of $7.5 million compared to Philadelphia's most expensive neighborhood, Rittenhouse Square, with an average home sale price of $1.39 million. For example, if we take a home that is currently listed on the market right around that average sales price in the most expensive neighborhood in New York City and compare that home to the home right around the average sales price in the most expensive neighborhood in Philadelphia, let's see how much different those homes truly are. This home within the Hudson Yards neighborhood has 3 beds, 4 baths, 2,656 square feet, and is priced at $7.95 million compared to this next home in Philadelphia's most expensive neighborhood, Rittenhouse Square, with 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,838 square feet, so a little bit more square footage, but 1 less bedroom, priced at $1.65 million, and $6.3 million lower for the home in Philadelphia compared to New York City. Very quick, for example, if you wanted to spend the average home sale price of Hudson Yards, but anywhere within Philadelphia, let's take a look to see what that would get you. It looks like that you could live in a brand new construction building with just about every amenity that you can imagine, and on the penthouse level as well, with a home ranging from 3 to 5 bedrooms and anywhere from 3,600 to almost 4,700 square feet if you were to spend that same price in Philadelphia. The next real estate average cost that we're going to look at between a couple of different neighborhoods start with the Soho neighborhood in New York City with an average sales price of $3.1 million. And in Philly, the second most expensive neighborhood is Chestnut Hill with an average sales price of $1.5 million, followed by the New York neighborhood of Tribeca at $2.9 million. And in Philly, Society Hill at $1 million even. Lastly, we have Hudson Square in New York City with an average home sale price of $2.46 million, and Old City in Philadelphia with an average sales price of $829,000, which is crazy because the 4th most expensive neighborhood in all of Philadelphia is right around $100,000 more than what the average sales price is in New York City. The next most important category that we're going to compare are the taxes. New York City residents pay both New York City tax and New York State income tax as well. At the state level, the income tax ranges from 4 to 10.9% depending on your income level, and specifically in New York City, the income tax rates vary between 3.07% and 3.876% based on income, and that is in addition to the state taxes as well. If someone were to live in New York City and would then end up paying New York City income taxes and New York State income taxes, that means that they could potentially be paying upwards of 14% just in income taxes alone each year. Similar to New York City, of course, in Pennsylvania, if you were to live in Philadelphia specifically, you would be paying both the city tax and the state tax as well, but it drastically differs. The Philadelphia income tax does not vary at all like New York City does because the Philadelphia wage tax is a flat rate of 3.79% for people that live within the city and 3.49% for people who work in the city but do not live within the city limits. In addition to the wage tax, all Pennsylvania residents pay a flat rate of 3.07%, meaning no matter how much anyone makes within Pennsylvania, everyone is paying that same 3.07% tax compared to other states and other cities where it drastically fluctuates depending on how much you make. When it comes to sales tax, New York City has a sales tax of 8.875%, and Philadelphia has a total sales tax of 8%, which is made up of the 6% standard in Pennsylvania and an additional 2% from the city. New York State has much higher higher property taxes compared to Pennsylvania at a state level. But shockingly enough, Philadelphia has much higher property taxes than New York City, specifically at the city level. But of course, if we're looking at the taxes and overall cost of living between the two states, the average sales price of a home and the taxes drastically outweigh the advantage of having lower property taxes in New York City. Depending on what type of home you purchase in Philadelphia will drastically change how much property taxes you end up paying. And of course, if I will be a realtor, I would love to help you make sure that you are not only paying an appropriate price for your home, but also to try to get a home that has a little bit of a tax abatement as well, which we can go over more when you reach out or on another video as well. Now let's go over the everyday cost of living between these two cities, so you know not just what you're paying for the overall cost of living and the taxes, but also a realistic look of how much more or less you could be paying in Philadelphia each day compared to New York City. Before we look at this chart, keep in mind that the US average for this chart has a cost of living average of 100 to give you a better basis of how both of these cities rank compared to the US average. Philly has an overall cost of living rating of 104.3 and New York City is at 172.5 overall, starting with the grocery cost of living rating in New York City at 116.6 and 102.5 in Philadelphia. The health cost in Philadelphia is 102.1 and in New York City, 127.6. Philadelphia is home to some of the best healthcare in the entire country, with 1 in 6 doctors throughout the entire country being trained right here in Philadelphia. For the housing category, Philly came in at 75.9 and New York City at 224.3. The utility cost in Philadelphia is an average of 107.7 and in New York City, 150.5. Transportation in Philly is rated a 141.9 compared to 181.1 in New York City. And the miscellaneous category came in at 136.4 for New York City and 109.5 for Philadelphia. Philadelphia is more affordable than New York City in just about every category. So if Philadelphia is the choice for you, I would love to help you find your perfect home here. All of my contact information is below. You can shoot me an email, give me a call, or click the contact link in the description below. And I'll see you over on this video where we not only compare the cost of living between these two cities, but so much more comparison as well.